Jared, I concede the floor to you.
All right, we're sticking with Ice and Fire again because I'm just on a rewatch bin and I'm loving it, and I miss Casterly talk. So it's actually we got a topic for today, but
Mm,
I'm pre-warning you. I'm gonna
mm,
make you pick up where we left off on the GOT rewatch segments that you were doing, because the
mm.
next episode was the Mountain and the Red Viper.
Yes.
So next week on Thursday, I'm gonna call in after rewatching that particular episode,
So
and we're
next
gonna
week.
talk.
Okay.
Yep. But
Okay.
this week, I want to know what are you? Pick one of each. What is your favorite thing that GOT proper did different on the show that you like better from the book, and vice versa? What's a storyline from the book that was better than how they handled it on the show?
Okay. So something that me they're look. I love the books. I joke sometimes about George R. R. Martin. It's loving. It's done with passion. Very thankful for the world that man created. I just want him to finish it. And sometimes I get grumpy, as I've said here before. I don't know what's going on. I just think there's a little bit of like retooling because he wants to do something different, and I don't know. But then it starts getting into conspiracy stuff. So let's not worry about that. Um, the one thing that jumps to mind that's way better on the show, way better, like way better, is Harrenhal in season 2. Season 2 as a whole is a better edit of a great book, but that second book has a lot of stuff that meanders to me. The whole the Night's Watch north of the Wall, even the discovery of the obsidian weapons, the dragon glass. Like, it's better in the show. It's just concise. It's to the point. Yes, you want more space in a book, and it's great. But but the Harrenhal stuff with Arya Stark and Tywin remains some of the best moments in the show. In a show that is big action and dragons and fire, really, it is often about two people talking at a table. Those are the scenes that stand out. So season 1, I always go to the Cersei Robert wedding conversation that was added to the show, and I think added on a reshoot, if I remember correctly. Arya Stark and Tywin Lannister is not in the books at all, and the Harrenhal stuff is much like a lot of the books when George is maybe firing on not all cylinders. It's too much, and there's the brothers and that and then that and then I just remember reading it going, God, I wish I just had Arya and Tywin. So I'd go with that. Your thoughts on that?
I that's a great addition because I'm with you. Season 2 is one of the more rewatchable seasons to me. I just love how
Yes.
it just picks up from everything starting to slowly crumble and the cracks forming and the chaos ladder going up, and just
Mm-hmm.
that's a good one. But the one I
Mm.
thought of before the call was actually considering your man, Mr. Jorah Mormont here, Sir
Yes.
Jorah Mormont, and I liked in the show them giving him grayscale as opposed to not having him have grayscale in the book. Still a difficult journey in the book, but
Yes.
the grayscale just adds, I feel, more of it to him.
Yes, and it's John Connington that has it in the book, and I like it. Yeah, I like all that stuff. Put a pin in that. But yeah, I thought it led to being a Jorah guy, just that wonderful heartbreaking moment where he's just like to Daenerys, like, yeah, I got the grayscale, and she's like, you go find a cure, and it's a heartbreaking moment, and I order you to find a cure, and I, as much as I love season 8, season 7, I do think he returns too fast in a way, and that's part of the show speeding up there. I understand that criticism, and it's not lessened for me, but it is just kind of like 1 or 2 episodes. And I love that it connects to Samwell and Samwell's connection to his father. That all works for me. It's just
Brilliant.
It's just too fast, and I did want some of that Game of Thrones steadiness and slower pace. But I'm with you on that. That's a great example. All right, so what's one that I like better in the books?
Yeah, and I'll give you my examples just to give you the idea.
Please.
I missed Lady Stoneheart when again, it's not the show is definitely magic light compared to the book, but Lady Stoneheart is just that's a great part of the read.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm going back. So I was hanging out with a friend on that finale of episode season 4, which would have been the Stoneheart season, like if they had done it right, roughly,
Give or
and
take, yeah.
give or take. But basically, it's 4, and it ends. And we were both kind of on the edge of our we're on a couch watching this together, hanging out, and she was a book reader, and by this point I had got ahead of this. Season 4 was the first time I had read book before season, right? So I was sitting with my friend in a hotel room months earlier or weeks earlier when Oberyn was fighting, and my friend's like, "Oberyn's gonna kill him," and I'm just like, and we both cried in a dark Vegas hotel room. Not the first time that's happened to people.
Oh god.
But anyways, it didn't happen, and we both were like, end credit, and that was a dividing point for this friend who, from that point on, kind of turned away from the show, and for me was like, okay, we're doing something else, and that was the Last Jedi dividing point too, where I was like, oh, I didn't expect this stuff with Luke. I like this and I like it better. And I like going this way than the other ways. And there's a lot of other great ideas that you could have used for the franchise. I always like a lot of the what ifs. I'm not interested in them. We went this way. And that was the moment, that was the dividing line where I definitely, it would have been the shot heard around the world. Imagine that shot of Stoneheart on screen or something like that. Talk about viral moments. It would have been great. So, but I don't. This is not. I disagree with you because they could have found a way to do it. But also, one of the effects it had. I don't know if it had effect with you. Is then I kind of went like, oh, I guess in the books it doesn't factor. It maybe not cheapened or lessened the impact going forward in the books. But also like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter as much. You know what I mean?
I can see that because a friend brought it up to me with this argument, and it clicked really well for me. It's the Tom Bombadil argument from the Lord of the Rings books to movie. Like, it's an amazing chapter. Tom is a fascinating character. Token lore heads will tell you how much we love Tom, but putting him in that movie would have meant nothing to the story other than confusion as why is this random guy putting on the ring and giving it back like it's nothing.
Yep. And I'm not super familiar with the book side of it with Bombadil, but I've heard and watched a lot of things. And I love him in Rings of Power season 2, by the way. I think he's great. But yeah, I'm with you on that. Thematically, it was a sacred cow, and people didn't want him sliced off there. But it's good. All right, so quickly here, the one I'll say, it's a little more. It's bigger than just one moment or one scene or even one season. I do understand why, especially I think in the end they mismanaged the Sand Snakes a bit. On the show, and the producers have come forward in other books there and talked about maybe we should just not have done it. I don't know. Like, they didn't have a handle on it. Fair point. That aside, I got why they did it with Tyrion. I got how it played out. I like where we go with it in the show. But the Tyrion going down the river with young Griff, old Griff, a maester, everything about that was wonderful. I loved it in the book. And, did you want to have him, if they had done it, it would have been 2 seasons of Tyrion hanging out with like disease-riddled, corpulent masters. Like, it wouldn't have been super exciting, but I do love the book version of that a little better. Heading down the run or whatever it was.
Oh, it's just, that is a good read because Tyrion's such a little shit in the books. I love it.
He is. That whole sequence, yeah.
Oh, God. And I feel like if they didn't get an actor, oh my God, why am I blanking his name?
Dinklage? Oh, are you talking about Tyrion?
Yeah, no, Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if they didn't get somebody like Dinklage, who is not just an amazing actor, but also a very pretty man and charismatic out there, they would have done more book accurate and sliced his nose off and made him far more spiteful, I feel like. But they had the audience fall in love with the little whoring drinking man of season 1.
Yes. Well, and I do love that one little throwaway line of Cersei. Was it after the Battle of Blackwater? Like, oh, I heard your nose got cut off. Like, just love that. Addie yells, Dinklage isn't wicked. All right. You sold me. Sold me. Beautiful. Jared, wonderful stuff. And like I said last week, please continue to call in. But Alden and I, Casterly Talk is not dead. Okay? It's going to come back like Lady Stoneheart.
I will never believe it's dead. You
good.
could go
It's not.
10 years before an episode, and I will still say no.
No, we'll be in touch. You've inspired me. You've inspired me.
Also, I saw her in the chat. Romo, get back on Casterly Talk too. We miss your
Romo
voice
was
there.
great on Casterly Talk. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Sounds good. Jared, thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Always stay safe, my guys.
Thank you, Jared, the Tide Pilot.